Okay, we're going to start the meeting for tonight. We always start with the invocation, completely optional. And will Councilman Trovey lead us in the invocation?
Lord God, we just thank you again for this beautiful day. We thank you for the wonderful world that you've created here for us to live and to enjoy. We thank you for that, for being such a great Father that you would give us such a wonderful gift as this planet to enjoy here. We thank you for safety in our town and all the town workers and the police. We thank you for all of our men and women that are serving in other countries to help secure and maintain freedom, not only for us, but for many other countries. Lord, we lift up in prayer the families of those that lost the people in the river, and we pray that they may recover the second person. Please be with everybody at this time. Guide us in all that we do. We thank you in Jesus' precious name. Amen.
Amen. All right, call this meeting of the Deerpark Town Board to order on August 12th, 2013 at 7:36 p.m. And will Councilman Dean lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will everybody remain standing for a moment of silence for Mrs. Ann Cedrone, who passed away and was the wife of our zoning board chairman, Gerald Cedrone. All right, thank you. You may be seated. Okay, first item is roll call and attendance. Councilman Trovey. Here. Councilman Spears.
Here.
Councilman Dean.
Here.
Councilman Hoovler. Supervisor Brabadick is here. 4 members of the board having answered to their names. A quorum is present. Additions or changes to the agenda. I have a couple of additions and changes. Under presentations of communications, I move that we add Norma Schott, town historian, for her report, seconded by Councilman Spears. And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carried 4-0. I move to table consideration of local law number 3, road protection law. We're just not ready to present that yet. There's still some slight modifications we have to make to that. That was supposed to be ready today, but was not. So I'd like to table that to the next meeting. I need a second.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Dean. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay, motion carried 4-0. Also, I'd like to add to new business consideration of surplus equipment, and also Port Jervis Youth Football League permission.
I'll second both of those.
Seconded by Councilman Spears. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carried 4-0. And that concludes my additions. Are there any additions or changes to the agenda from any of the council members?
I have none.
I have none.
Okay, we'll move on. First item on the agenda is a continuation of the public hearing from last meeting, which is a dangerous building, 1151 U.S. Route 209, section block and lot 20-1-34.13. And we do have, I believe, or at least one speaker for that, to give an update on that.
Pat, is it?
Yes.
How you doing?
And please, your name and address for the record.
Pat Longabuco, appearing on behalf of Shapiro, DeCaro, and Barak for Deutsche Bank. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Evening.
So since the last time we were here, I was able to get some information. It appears as though the property is in contract to be sold, and the closing date is scheduled for August 19th. It is also my understanding that the new buyer is going to be purchasing the property as is, with all the pending violations issued by the building department, and intends to address those on his own behalf. I don't know if any communication was had with the local building department and to convey any of this information, but what I'm asking for is a short adjournment again, perhaps the 26th, or even a date out further the next time after that the council is going to be convening, for the simple reason to make sure and ensure that it is sold. And as we all know, sometimes with real estate transactions, they could be delayed for any number of reasons. So I don't want to, my request for the adjournment maybe post the 26th is that I don't want to come back and have nothing more to report if there was a delay on the buyer's end. So again, I'm asking for a brief adjournment.
So let me ask a question first. I believe the 26th, we're going to
Do you have a copy, have you provided a copy of the contract to anyone?
No, that was not given to me. I just got this update. I could certainly inquire with that and provide it to the town attorney.
Well, just let me voice this concern. The only person who's been notified of the problem, of the public hearing, and of the requirement that the building either be secured, demolished, and that if it's not, the town do it, and that it be placed on the tax roll. The only people who have been notified that are the current owner, in other words, the bank. We don't have a copy of the contract. We have no way of knowing what the new owner knows or doesn't. I mean, I'm not questioning you, Mr. Longobucco, in terms of the fact
Understood.
that
Understood.
your client may very well have properly advised the purchaser of what the issues are in terms of the as-is purchase. I would indicate to the board that if in fact it's an as-is purchase with this violation pending, it would have to be a cash deal because no title insurance company would provide title insurance.
That was going to be my next question to the building department. Have they researched it for title insurance?
We have not received any information at all from them, other than there was a call on Friday to the secretary. They left a number, which I called 3 times today, Mark Mira, Security Solutions, who, through his conversation with the secretary, indicated that he was tearing it down for the bank. So obviously that was miscommunicated somehow, based upon Mr. Longobucco's, narrative. What I would suggest, especially based on what our attorney said, is that, we've done everything by the book at this point. I would say that the demolition order should stand. You can extend it if you wish, but keep the demolition order and possibly say that within 30 days from today, that the owners need to comply with taking out a building permit, and it must be demolished within 60 days. And, let it ride through that. And if there is a sale and they do plan on doing something, they contact us, they have an engineer with plans drawn up, and submit them back to the town board and the building department. Or you can, adjourn it, but again, then we have to go through the entire procedure again with different
So
buyers.
we would have the possibility of going out 30 days with offering them another 30 days at the point if there is a sale.
Right.
So that would give them 60 days, even if we followed Al's plan, Glenn?
Well, if you were to close the public hearing tonight and make the determination that it's a dangerous building, the hearing notice says, I believe, that they have to secure a demolition permit within 30 days and actually complete the demolition within 60 days. So that would put this out roughly 45 days beyond the closing date identified by council, for whoever to come in and get the permit, submit plans. If they don't intend to demolish it, they can submit plans for the rehabilitation. And certainly at that point, if it's progressing, there'd be no requirement for the building department to actually go forward and do the demolition or arrange for the demolition. What that would do is it would protect the town because you wouldn't have to recreate the will, you wouldn't have to serve anybody. You've done your due diligence. If there's a problem, at least you're in a position to have it demolished. And if, in fact, there is a sale and the new owners want to rehab it, well, they've got a short window within which to make arrangements and request additional time. But it's not with any negative impact on the town board.
This house, I think you mentioned last time, it is quite a problem.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, well, what's the pleasure? I would say we should follow that plan. It does give them 60 days from now, or,
Okay.
let's see.
All right. Did you have any more comment, or?
I mean, outside of just requesting a week adjournment, and I understand what the building department's point in that if you extend the order, that it still provides for time for my client and/or any potential third-party purchaser to come in and perform the work that needs to get done there. And I guess, my request for the adjournment is not to put the council in a bad spot or the town in that, leaving this property sort of unattended. Unfortunately, I'm not aware of what was conveyed to the third-party buyer. And if, as council mentioned, if they did a title search, they'll see that there has been violations issued on that property. And he's correct. Generally, banks won't lend to purchase the property without those violations being cleared. And it could very well be that it is a all-cash deal, or maybe there's a third-party lender that's coming in. I don't know, and I apologize for not knowing that information. Certainly have no problem making a request to have the contract conveyed over to the town attorney so that he can see that, there is somebody on the other end and they're ready, willing, and able to buy the property. My only request would be for one more week adjournment.
Mr. Longobuco, I just want to respond to you. It doesn't matter, to me at least. It doesn't matter whether there's somebody on the other end.
No, I understand.
And really what they know or don't know. In fact, it's worse if there's somebody on the other end, because it's the whole transfer of title that causes the problem for the board if they extend it. So effective, and they don't have a meeting next week or another meeting between now and the 19th, nor do I think that my advice would be that they delay the process, because it would necessarily require additional notice, publication, delay, and either your client or the third-party purchaser, if there is such an entity, they have the ability to do what they need to do without having the building raised by the building department. Believe me, the building department does not want to go through the hassle of coordinating a demolition and then having to have it assessed against the tax rolls. That's not our interest. But at this point, without really concrete information as to what the intentions are or who it might affect, you had your 2 to 4 weeks since the last meeting, and I know that you've gotten certain information, but at this point, it's really potentially negatively impacting the board if they extend this any further. So I don't know what the week buys you, frankly.
This has been postponed, or held open since July 22nd, right?
That's correct.
So that's 3 weeks.
Mhm.
Has anything been done in 3 weeks up there?
Is that building like open windows and open doors, and you guys have not made any effort to secure that building after all this? Because we did that, you said you were going to do that.
I did, and I did reach out to my client. I advised them that they should have the property manager that is assigned to that property to get there and secure it. And
So they don't care?
well, I wouldn't say they didn't care. It didn't get done. So according to the building department, it didn't get done. I did explain to them the concern, and
Right, well, that's, I guess, what I would say that is against your thoughts, is that they're not acting in
Good faith.
good faith, right now. They should have acted in good faith, say, look, you gave us another time period, we'll go make sure that the windows are boarded, the doors, so no kids get in there and somebody gets hurt.
right.
But, they didn't even make the effort to do that. And now to come back and, delay this thing, but we don't want to, personally, I don't want to see a building ripped down, because that just lessens the tax base.
Absolutely.
That's not my choice to see this thing happen, but when we're doing things like this, there should be good faith on both sides of people moving forward. And it doesn't seem like they've done anything to do that.
Understood.
I have a problem.
And that's my position as well. I wanted to move forward with this weeks ago, and I know that, just talking with the neighbors that call my office almost every day, they're complaining about rats and garbage and just the sight of it.
Right.
They're worried about their property values decreasing because of it. So, I mean, I don't know, I'm kind of left in a situation where, I have to move forward with
He's
this.
still gonna have 45 or 60 days even if we go forward. So
Absolutely.
If they wanna get it done, they'll get it done.
Yeah, absolutely. And if
Right,
there's a
and-
new owner and they want to rehab the property and they have a plan, then, we definitely at our next meeting take a look at it and reconsider,
Right, that would have been my next question in terms of, so in the event that obviously, if the board is going to take action as recommended by the town and the building department, so where does that leave this purchaser that's coming into play that's going to potentially buy this property next week? What is it exactly that they're going to be facing or encountering? Because they're going to have like a standing order at this point for the demo. So it puts sort of the onus now on them.
There's a standing, there'll be, if it goes the way we've suggested, there'll be a standing demolition order. They have 30 days to take out a permit and 60 days to complete the demolition. If it's not completed in that time period, we'll get prices and we'll do the demolition and charge against the property. That's the how this will work. Now, practically speaking, if they are looking for a piece of vacant land, and that's ideal for them, they can proceed with the demolition. If they are going to try to rehabilitate the property, then we need stamped, sealed drawings from a New York State engineer for the structure and/or architect for the design, for a set of plans to say we're taking out this 2x4, we're adding a 2x6. And we're putting in the insulation in accordance with New York State Building Code. Full set of plans submitted for rebuilding instead of demolition, we would then consider that. But it has to be within that time frame,
Understood.
which is not out of the ordinary. I mean, a set of plans like that, if you get the right guy, take a week.
Okay.
All right. Do you have anything further? or-
No.
Okay. Thank you. Does any other member of the public have anything further on the dangerous building, 1151 US Route 209, section block and lot 20-1-34.13? All right. Any members of the board?
I have one more question. If in fact, let's say this time schedule is now, there's 30 days, they have to get the demo permit. If they haven't closed, the bank can get the demo permit, and that could be transferred to the new owner, or does that become a problem? No problem. So you can just transfer the demo permit to him, and he can stave it off if he comes with engineered diagrams to rebuild the thing. So there's still a way to, stop this all from happening for the guy to rehab the property.
Right, exactly. I mean, that's a good, valid point. I mean, so it's 30 days to pull the permit, and then there's 60 days thereafter to get it done.
30 more.
30.
Oh, it's 30 and 30? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. I will accept a motion to close the public hearing. Motion by Councilman Dean. Is there a second?
Second?
Seconded by Councilman Spears. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? And motion carried 4-0. The public hearing is closed at 7:54 PM. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, we'll move to opening board comments. Councilman Spears.
Wait to the end, thank you.
Councilman Trovey?
At the end.
Councilman Dean? Really quickly on opening board comments, I was just notified that our new police car is ready to be picked up in New Jersey. So it's a new Ford Explorer, which is pursuit rated, recommended by the Port Jervis Police Department, who has purchased, I believe, one or two of them, and also our leadership, our sergeants that are in charge of the department at this point. So it should be a good addition to the fleet. What we have done is we have moved the 2005 Durango. We've taken that out of service for the police department, and we have given it, or not given it, but we have, it is now in service for the dog control officer. Dog control officer is using that. So there's another item on the list that we're going to have to consider tonight with his old vehicle, with surplus equipment.
Very good.
So we should be picking that up tomorrow, hopefully. All right, presentations and communications. We have our wonderful historian and our county historian of the year, Norma Schott.
Good job,
Carl, was that a free car? That's a free police car, right?
Absolutely.
Well, you should say
We should
so.
be signing that later, that bill.
No. Didn't we get a grant for that?
No, we came out of the
Oh,
budget.
we had to pay for it?
Yeah, that one.
We put one in the budget every year.
I know, but
Sometimes we get lucky.
we like those free ones.
Yeah. There'll probably be another one soon. What about our car that got wrecked? Can I ask a question about that later? Do it after.
Congratulations, Norma.
Yeah.
That's
Job well
very
done.
nice.
No, Norma, there you go. The letter. There you go. Is that the letter you were looking for?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wonderful. Great. I'll do that tomorrow. I realized I hadn't been here since May, so I thought I'd show up.
Good.
The September issue is in the process of being written, and the subject is the 1863 schoolhouse, because it's the 150th birthday of the school, which took me about a half a year to figure out. And I've also learned how to now spell sesquicentennial. There's 2 N's there. So that's what we're going to be celebrating this year. The Gamar Cemetery group approached me about a historic marker for the cemetery to be signed to be placed at Guymard Turnpike, and I did get notification from the William Pomeroy Foundation that they give them away if you put in a grant application, which I did. The group is Judy Gamar Testa and Grace Woodard. They did all the paperwork. However, since they're not a 501(c), I did it through the town because a municipal municipal entity can put in for that. And but they are going to install it, but it'll then be also a town responsibility. It'll be one of our signs along with all the others. I've helped a number of people. I did a lot of research lately, including something for the Orange County Land Trust Project and the New York Genealogical and Biographical Society, which is currently putting in a new gazetteer, a 21st century gazetteer, and they're making a lot of corrections to the old ones, which included Deerpark. Deerpark's parent town was Mamakating, which wasn't correct. It's actually Mamakating and Minnesink, because we were half Ulster County and half Orange County. The historic marker project is done, except that I just found out that there is another one assigned down on the Neversink Drive, but I did go over to the Highway Department, and we're going to work on getting that back up together again. I did get a grant for $600. Last year, you requested that I put together a booklet for the historic markers and the stories behind them, which I have done. And I asked the Orange County Historian's Office for a grant for the publishing of the booklet. So I've got the pictures, the caption done. I just have to format the whole thing. And also, Carl just gave me the letter of permission. The William Pomeroy Foundation is also giving to all the towns and not-for-profits bronze plaques to put on any building that's on the National Register of Historic Places. And they're very, very nice. I think there was a picture of one of the papers that I gave you. And they can either be put on the building or they can be freestanding. And I would say that would be up to you if we get one, whether you want it freestanding or whether you want it to be put on the building. And I've got all the paperwork now. The large 8x4 sign that's in front of the schoolhouse was run over. I don't know how it happened. Somebody must have pulled into the driveway, backed up right into it. So anyway, it was lying there in pieces. I cleaned it up as best I could. I purchased new tracks for the letters, and Ed Houston, I spoke with Ed and the Highway Department. They're going to help me put it back into place. The damage wasn't that bad, and it wasn't worth going through insurance. It cost $42 so far to get it fixed. I had lumber at home that I used. And the other thing we have to do is get the uprights, and I don't know how much they're going to be. I'd like to publicly thank Lynn Burns for all the plantings around the schoolhouse. If you've taken a ride up there, it looks very nice this summer. She's watered them, maintained them, weed whacked, and it's looked really nice. And Al Schock gave us a planter, which is sitting on the stone steps, which is very nice. So that has been really lovely all summer. For the town museum, the July 21st bus tour was very successful. We had excellent feedback. We're working on the August 24th bus tour. They're all sold out, and that's without a whole lot of advertising. I am really amazed at this whole thing, that it's just so successful. And it's really, once we got it all together, it isn't that much work. We are planning an open house in September to celebrate the 150th birthday of the school. September 21st from 12 to 5, and on the Sunday the 22nd from 1 to 5, there'll be flyers coming out. For that, we're going to have World War II posters and the history of the artists that produced them at the schoolhouse, and a yesteryear display of clothing and household items in the Grange building. And we're putting together a display of 1863 events, and it was really interesting that I found that in 1863, Port Jervis got gas lights. They were installed. So I'm learning a lot.
Dave, do you remember that?
Very funny.
So, and we're going to have some Irish music with the Parting Glass. And I didn't put this in because I really didn't think that this would happen as quickly as it did. But Charlie Sword out, he's really very good to the school, and he sends a donation every year. And he sent another donation, and he wanted it used for something special. So I ordered an 1863 flag. You can fly an American flag of any year at any time. It's perfectly legal. And it just came in today. And here it is as 35 stars. And so we're going to dedicate that for the 150th birthday. And I did write him a thank you note and told him that, and I'm going to put his name on the flagpole. I guess that's about it. We have programs coming up in October, the history of the Cutterbackville Never Sink River Bridge and the Roebling Wire. Frank Ketchum, who's the engineer there, has brought me all kinds of stuff that he dug up that was going to go into the dumpster, and he says, "Oh, I know somebody who wants that." So he's been bringing me stuff, and including a piece of Roebling wire from the 1850s bridge. And then in November, Michael Warden's going to give a lecture on his book, The Big Pond Murder. And if there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Any questions for the board?
Good job.
Yeah, good job.
Well, I thank you very much for your time and your support.
Anything that you
And-
need from us, Norma, while you're here?
I don't think so. I got what I needed. Carl gave me the permission to put the sign up. I really can't, right now, I can't think of anything.
All righty.
I did hand my budget in,
Okay.
so
Excellent.
I don't know what else I have to do.
Very good. Thank you. Wonderful job as always.
So,
And we
but,
keep hearing compliments from the county historian about you, so.
well, I do have to go see her again. And she's been very good to me. She really has. And it was a big surprise. I really did not expect to get, I thought Cliff Patrick was going to get it for sure, because I know she gives that award every year, because he's active in the state association and everything. So he does a lot of work. He should get it next year. Maybe if I have some influence and can say something, put his name down.
Well, thanks again for everything.
Yeah, congratulations again, Norma.
right, does anyone else have any communications, presentations, nothing? All right, we'll move forward. Approval of the minutes of the previous meetings. We have minutes from July 22nd, 2013. Has everyone read those over?
And make a motion, we approve those as written.
Moved by Councilman Spears. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Trovey. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carried 4-0. Next on the agenda, public comment period, 3 minutes per person. Agenda items only. And do we have anyone? Town clerk?
No, we don't,
Nope.
sir.
Okey dokey. We will move on. New business. The first order of new business is board action on dangerous buildings. Now, at the last meeting, we had 3 hearings on 3 different properties in the town. One of the properties, we had the owner show up, and I believe there has been some work done on that property already.
They did demolish the structure, and they are preparing plans to rebuild on that lot.
Okay, so that's taken care of.
That's taken care of.
Okay, and that, which one was that? Do you remember?
Trails and...
The Trails End one?
Then that was
Okay.
Chester LeBaron and Daniel Fox.
That's
Okay.
Okay.
Very good.
They did what they said they were gonna do. They're looking at a double wide, going back in. They're preparing plans. We indicated to them it had to be new or, within 10 years, that's what the code states. And so they're working on that now, and, hopefully they'll be moving forward with that shortly.
Wonderful, wonderful. The next one was on Old Road, which is located in Cuttabackville. This one, we did not have anyone show up, and we still haven't heard from the owners at all. And that one went out to bid, and the bids were opened at, when was it, 3 or 4 today?
4 p.m.
4 p.m. today?
after closing.
Okay. After closing? Uh-oh. I don't think Flo would have been happy about that.
We're gonna set the next one up a little earlier.
Absolutely. Flo, do you have a report on that?
We opened up 3 bids, yes, Al,
Go ahead.
and Kathy and I were there. Boyce Excavating for Middletown,
Yes.
68,500. Frank Cimarelli, 10,800. Beam, was it Beam, Al?
Yes, that is
Specialty
it.
trades contract, 49,500.
Okay, those are the only 3?
3 of them, yes.
And the low bidder was Frank Cimarelli.
Yes. Al is looking over them because they were 2 addendums that were sent out. So he's looking over paperwork, and I believe he'll have a report to the board.
Do you have a report on that now?
Give a verbal report.
Mhm, okay.
We've checked, one of the reasons why it was so high is that we need, if the laws just recently changed, it's not even really the law, but it's the New York State Labor Department regulations that requires asbestos remediation, before you do a demolition. And towards that, you need to do a survey. In this case, we really didn't want a lot of people running through the interior of this building because it's dangerous. There's a fire in it and whatnot. I called the Labor Department, and they do give waivers of that. However, when you have a waiver of that type, you have to treat the site as if it's all asbestos, which means there's additional, treatment and care and demolition disposal is required. So that's why you see the prices are astronomical, because when you hear the A word, that's what happens, all right? Towards that end, we sent out 2 addendum. First addendum was to notify the contractors that that's what would have to happen. They would have to get a waiver from the Labor Department and treat it as an asbestos site. Mr. Cimarelli did acknowledge that he did get that addendum, and he said he complied with it, all right, as did the other gentleman. A second addendum was sent out, but the second addendum was really not an addendum, but clarification, because that beam outfit asked a lot of questions. And it wasn't really appropriate as an addendum. There were no changes. It's just that he wanted to know about the wage rates and this and that and the other. And, everybody else was pretty well satisfied with it, but he had questions. So the only other thing is that Mr. Somarelli did not submit a non-collusive certificate. He just had his price and that was it. The board does allow for minor informalities if changes don't matter. Obviously, there was no collusion on these prices, obviously.
Right.
So, I don't have an issue with the board waiving that. We did have that in the bid. The board has the right to waive minor informalities, which I would consider that. We will get him to sign one before a contract is given. So I would, recommend that we proceed with the low price, because the other ones don't meet our budget either. They have, I think, a $13,000 budget, if I'm not mistaken. So-
Around there. I know we had 13,000 in the budget this year. There was 13,000 from last year that wasn't used.
Right.
So,
Right. So I would recommend that I'll give you a letter tomorrow, because we only opened these at 4, I didn't have time for the letter together, that we would, go with Frank Somarelli, and we'll prepare a small agreement for the town and he, if you so choose.
I'll make that in a motion that we approve the low bidder, Frank Cimarelli, and for the building department to complete the paperwork for that.
okay, there's a motion on the floor by Councilman Spears. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Trovey. Any discussion? All right, just under discussion, I want to thank the state of New York for increasing the cost of business in New York State once again. That's all I have to say. Let's call the question. All in favor? Aye. Aye. All opposed? And motion carried, 4-0. And who wants to notify Mr. Cimarelli?
We can do it.
Yeah, okay, all right. I didn't know if the town clerk wanted to do that.
Well,
so.
usually it goes out with the bid because he has to get the building department.
Okay.
They have to, like he says, do the form work and stuff.
That works for me.
We're gonna make them take out the permit as well, for the whole process.
That'll work, all right.
Called first thing in the morning.
I know this is a property that's been kind of lagging for 2 years. I think it burnt down 2 years ago, and it's been just a shell over there and causing a problem. So I'm glad that this could get done.
Just as an aside, there was a fire in the place. Is an asbestos fireproof?
Good boy.
So there's no asbestos in
No
there?
I guess not.
It was a fire.
And the third property that obviously we were considering is 1151 US Route 209, which we closed the public hearing on today. So do we have a recommendation from our attorneys and engineer on that one?
Well, basically, as was discussed at the public hearing, we recommend that you have a 30-day period from today with which to get a demolition permit as part of your order, and 60 days from today, you have the job completed. That would move forward in that regard. If in fact the owners take out the permit and move towards that, that's fine. If they decide to do something different, they still have that time clock over their head.
Question?
Yes, question.
After 30 days, if nothing is done, they're out of their time frames?
They're out of their time frame for the demolition permit.
Yeah, I mean,
You can answer two questions at once, because my next question would be, if they don't pull a permit in 30 days, is the town going to go ahead and do it?
Well, I think that's what the authorization should be. The authorization should be to move forward, declare it a dangerous building, move forward with the provisions as set forth in the hearing notice, setting forth the requirement of the 30-day to pull a permit for demolition and 60 days to complete, otherwise the town does it. If they don't pull a permit, if they don't submit plans for rehabilitation, and if they don't demolish within that 30/60-day period, then yes, the building department should, at that point, put out to bid the demolition and make those arrangements.
Okay.
Any cost to the town would then be assessed against the tax roll for that property. That having been said, if on the 45th day they come in with a full packet with seeking a building permit and plans for the building and everything else, I don't believe that it precludes the building department from at that point saying, okay, you have this, we'll allow for additional time, start work now.
We'll be reasonable.
Okay.
I mean, we're not going to advertise for bids until the 60th day.
Okay. I mean, we want to be fair, but then again, we want to be fair to neighbors too. So like on the 61st day, I'm saying we get going.
Yep, we'll get going.
Okay.
All right, so I'll move that on the property 1151 US Route 209, section block and lot 20-1-34.13, that we declare that a dangerous building per recommendations of the building department, that we allow for a 30-day period starting today, August 12th, to obtain a demolition permit, and that the structure be demolished 60 days from today. If no permit is received or applied for within the 30-day period, or the demolition does not occur within the 60-day period, the building department will have the right to make a recommendation to the town to demolish the building, for the town to demolish the building, and assess the cost to the property taxes. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Spears. Any further question? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? And motion carried 4-0. All right, thank you. That's it for that. Next on the agenda, move August 26th meeting. Our next meeting is scheduled 2 weeks from today, August 26th. I know there are some scheduling conflicts with a lot of the board members where I don't think we're going to have a quorum on that day. So instead of leaving it on that day and not having a quorum, I think we should figure out a day when we'll have a quorum.
Well, if you push it off a week, you're on Labor Day, so that's not going to work. I don't know, maybe we just move it till September 9th, unless you have pressing issues.
Really, I don't think there's anything that'll come
There's
up.
only one that I know of, is the comprehensive plan. The agreement, or the request for a grant has been prepared, but we haven't sent it because we need a resolution to do so, and that would be, the Upper Delaware Council grant, and it needs to be submitted by August 31st.
Okay, are we interested in doing that, or?
Do we have a bottom line number on that?
What we had done in the grant, I believe, is that we asked for a $5,000 grant, and we had put in, I think, to show a $25,000 project, but I've since researched it, and looking at it in conjunction with what we've done up to date, that with a little help from Norma and everybody else, because a lot of that's historical data, I think we can get down to 15. That's the same that we've done with the others. All the others, we've saved between $5,000 and $10,000 on the budgeted amounts. We'd keep the budget to UDC at that amount, because hopefully then we'll get a larger grant, but we'd be willing to do it for $15,000 with, some internal help. And hopefully we'll get a $5,000 grant.
Now, I know that the
Like I
comprehensive,
said, all the other ones we came in, the one that we just did, I think came in 8,000 less, and the first one I think was 5,000 less.
I believe the last, our current comprehensive plan was approved sometime in 2002 or 2003, so it is about 10 years old.
I mean, there's nothing we have to do at this point.
No. Well, I mean, we'll pass up the grant. I mean, we could probably use, is there anything else that we could use it for? That grant?
It's not specifically just for that, but that's what we've been doing with it. Now, I would say this, is that it's opportune with what we're trying to do, or what you're trying to do, the vision you provided with the business friendly and, this and that and the other kind of thing. What I'd also add is, why don't we see if we get the grant before you authorize the work to get done? And that gives us time to do it, but we do need to put the grant in by the 31st. So I might suggest, since we don't have more time to discuss it, that you approve to place the grant, but you don't authorize the work. And that way we have time to discuss that.
What are some, oops, excuse me.
I was just saying, if we get awarded the grant though and decide we don't want to go forward with it, we don't have to take it. Is that correct? Or?
They give you a grant award, and you have to sign the grant award in order to take it.
Right. Okay.
Right, I mean, and pretty much, that it's pledged to you. If no work is done, you're basically giving up the grant, and you have certain deadlines that you have to meet.
What are some of the other things we've used those grants for?
We've used that for the zoning, the new zoning, and we used the one from last year for the subdivision ordinance.
Didn't we do some maps?
The new maps.
The new maps, right, the new,
Deerpark,
the tourism maps.
tourism maps.
Is there any way to use some of that money towards number 2 beach?
Possibility.
Why don't you look into that before we go ahead with this?
Mm-hmm.
We can always call a meeting if we have to.
Now, the resolution, does it have to be specific to the
The
project?
resolution has to say to authorize to submit for you to sign a grant application. That's all.
Okay, but not for the
Doesn't
purpose,
have to
yeah,
say.
not for the purpose, obviously,
You're
of what the
signing
grant is.
application, so whatever you put in the application, that's what it's for.
Yeah, I mean, because there are a couple options we could do.
Yeah.
There is the number 2 beach that's coming on the horizon. We're still waiting on a grant coming in from the state for Sparrowbush Fireman's Park, which we can incorporate into that. There is some new signage that's needed in some of the town facilities.
Okay.
Maybe that could be used toward that. So there's a bunch of other things that we can look at.
All right.
I mean, just my experience, and I don't know, comprehensive plan is usually a book that's on the shelf.
Right, that's why we're looking at it.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying we really need this.
Yeah, we
And
disagree with that.
if we apply for this grant, what's the cost of applying for the grant? Or is there no cost?
The work's already done.
So
Yeah.
there's no real, okay. All right,
Yeah.
so
The work's already done. If you change it from comprehensive plan, we have to, put in, because what are your goals, what's gonna be the final product, you have to, it's not just this, that, you have to identify what you're gonna do and what the benefit is gonna be. And then they determine, are we gonna give you 5,000, 3,500?
All right, so that's like a time type thing about how much, Al, to do that? If we change to something else?
Yeah, just a few hours,
Okay, like we can go to.
$400 or $500.
All right, okay, very good.
Okay,
That idea does it.
But we ought to determine, what it is. Like I said, it's already prepared for the other.
Right.
okay. Do you know, Flo, do you know what resolution we're currently on? Or the next one, the next numbered one?
No, I don't.
I think it's 19, but I can't be
No, I was
positive.
gonna say 19, but
I think it's 19.
Yeah.
If it's not 19, we can correct it in the minutes? Okay. I would move that,
Used.
19 was used, so we were up to 20. Okay, so I'll move that we add to the agenda resolution number 20 of 2013, application, or authorizing supervisor for application for UDSB grant for $5,000 for 2014.
13 or 14.
It'd be, I think, the 14 cycle, so, second? Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Petrovy. This is to add it to the agenda for later on in the meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all opposed? And motion carried 4-0. All right, thank you, Al. Back to moving the August 26th meeting. Do we want to move it? Do we want to cancel it? I don't think there's any other pressing business to come before the month. We'll just have a lot of bills.
Move it to the 9th.
Yeah, push it off to the 9th. If there's anything that needs to be done,
We can call a meeting.
we could call a meeting.
Okay.
If it's just vouchers, we could just come up and sign them.
Okay.
We could make authorization to sign the vouchers for tonight and then 26 now, couldn't we?
No.
Well, I don't know if you can approve bills that
Not
aren't.
approve them, but as long as we have them with 3 or more signatures, we could come in and sign them, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
all right. That's
Okay.
all I want. I mean, I can run up and go over them and sign them, and
Okay.
hopefully Dave can too, and you,
Yeah.
so everybody can get paid, but
I'll just add that. It's going to go on the
Okay.
next motion. Okay. Abstracts. Okay, so I'll move that we cancel the board meeting for Monday, August 26th, 2013. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Spears. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, and motion carried 4-0. Next is our annual September 11th ceremony, and to give us an update on the progress that she has made and some news about the ceremony that's going to be coming up within the month is our town clerk and chairman of the event, Flo Santini.
I believe I spoke at the last meeting about Home Depot redoing the whole outside. We got a grant and they're going to be doing the whole outside. My deputies are working on all the letters and all the invites for the service that we're having. September 11th is a Wednesday, so we'll be gearing up for that. It's just emotional that it's happening again. It just comes up so fast. We'll be placing the new bows in memory of our servicemen that are still out there and not home with us. So, I don't know, there's just don't want to talk too much about it. It's just here before you know it.
And I want to thank Home Depot. I mean, that's a fantastic thing that they're doing. I think it's almost like a $5,000 donation to spruce up the monument out there, which is going to look really good. Do you know what date they're coming?
I think it's August 28th.
August
I
28th.
think it's a
Okay.
Thursday morning, 8 o'clock.
So if anybody would like to come and see that, come that morning, the 28th or the 29th.
Yeah. They'll be here 8 o'clock in the morning with a crew.
All right, good. All right, so, yes.
Are you too emotional to talk about it, or can we ask you some questions?
Sure, you can ask me.
This is like a town function? This memorial?
Yes?
So...
Memorial ceremony, right?
Memorial ceremony. Can we have our supervisor MC the event?
Yes.
Okay. Should we add that in
As
the
long
motion?
as you didn't ask me. Guys sit in the back. Guys stay in the back.
Oh, okay. All right, so we're going to authorize, I guess, is that why it's on the agenda? We need to authorize it, or?
Well,
No.
we generally had an update about the September 11th.
Normally it's something that I put on. Well, how I started it 11 years ago, and the board gave me permission. It was what Billy Smith and I did, that I just took it and I did it, and it was something that I handled and I ran with it, and it was just, I did it. It was, no one else, I was the one who did it, we did it, and,
Okay.
and everybody just came to it, It wasn't per se a town function. It wasn't, the town gave me permission to do whatever I needed to do. They gave me their blessing, and we just
Okay.
put it on from there. No holes barred.
Okay. I would definitely like to see our supervisor MC it, so I don't know how I go about doing that.
Just make a motion.
Well, let me turn it around. The thing about, I don't know how that would be, because if you would like that, we would have to talk about equipment and stereo and systems and chairs and
Sure,
So
it'd be
let's
more-
talk about it.
Let's talk about it. What do you need? Need a PA system and some
PA
chairs?
system, chairs, and,
Well, we're about to
Yeah.
purchase both a PA system and chairs for our building.
oh, are you? Okay.
So maybe we just purchase them early and use them.
Okay, that would be fine. That would be fine. If it's a town function, I would have no problem.
Okay?
I would have no problem at all.
All right, I'd like to see
Canopy.
Carl, if you could get some prices real quick on some chairs and a PA system, and the rec department was interested in getting a tent.
Certainly.
Get prices and see if we can't get that done. How does everybody feel about that? We're gonna need the chairs and the PA system. We have about 2 or 3 events a year. The rec could use a tent.
What size tent?
What is it, about a 20 by 20 or?
Yeah, somewhere around there. Yeah, like a big party tent, like one of those big party tents you need.
Just for that day? or for-
Well, what would happen is the tent is put up in case it rains, and you have a platform underneath it with the podium.
Because if it's nice weather, you don't need a tent.
You don't really need a tent
But
for the
if
nice weather,
if it
but
does, but if you're talking about for other things throughout the course of the year, how many times we have something we don't have a system that we need for outside? Because you're not only talking for this, you're talking about for other things for the course of the year for here, which I think is a nice gesture.
And the recreation department could use that PA system
Yes.
primarily for,
Yes.
I mean, you have opening of Little League season, opening of the football season,
We're
everything.
having things going on, and we don't have things to supplies
Absolutely.
down there, you
And
know?
we're gonna need the PA system in
Yeah.
the senior center, we're gonna need the chairs in the
Yes.
senior center.
Yes,
So they're a no-brainer.
yes.
We could make a decision on the 10 after we
Okay.
have prices.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I've got somebody that kind of owes me, I can approach them to see if they can cover the tent, and I would just donate it.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
All right, so then maybe, unless we find a great price on a tent,
Okay, well,
we could take up Ardeana's offer this year because it's close.
okay.
But I would certainly like to purchase some chairs and a PA system now anyway. So we have them for this function and then they're just gonna move into the senior center.
Okay. I just need all of this stuff in the form of a motion.
Okay, I'd make a motion, we give
Make sure
Flo our
somebody write
blessing
this
for the
down.
ceremony
'Cause I was
on
talking.
Wednesday, September 11th. I'd move that our town supervisor, Carl Bramenick, is the MC. And I would also move that we purchase chairs and a PA system for the town, which will eventually end up in the senior center.
And I need a second.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Trovey. We'll move to discussion. Any discussion, further discussion?
Yeah, I think we need to get competitive bids on the chairs and the PA system, so we follow protocol.
Yep, we'll do everything per the procurement policy. We usually get about 2 to 3 estimates or price quotes from different vendors, and then obviously go with the lowest one and go from there.
Okay, that's all I have.
I just want to make just an observation, strictly one man's opinion here. Flo, this is no reflection on you and the work that you do, along with your deputies. Not just me, but I've heard it from constituents of all of us, that last year's ceremony kind of got away from what this is supposed to be about. And they were a bit concerned with, all the political speeches and recognition of this and the recognition of that, and really I feel as though, hey, this is for the victims of 9/11. This is not about patting anybody on the back or getting patted on the back. So, I have no objection to doing this. I think this is a great thing, but I really urge you, Flo, and Mr. MC, to keep in mind what this is supposed to be about. And can the political stuff, because, hey, there's lots of time for that. This is not the time or the place. Just my opinion.
Good comment.
And I would certainly be honored to serve as the MC of this event. I think it's a wonderful event. It's one of the best ones in the county. Flo does a fantastic job putting it together. And, I want to thank her for that. And, yeah.
Good.
There you go.
Do we need a
And
vote?
yes, we do. We'll call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carried 4-0. And we'll get working on that right away. And I'll be in touch with you, Artie, and we'll
Yeah,
talk
yeah.
about the tent.
I'll put a call right in, and a 20 by 20 is big enough? You want a 20 by 40, or?
It might be too big out
It
there.
might be too big. We'll have to take a measurement.
Okay,
You usually have the singers and the music people under it maybe, and the speakers.
Right. And if we don't get the chairs by then, because they have chairs too, we can do that.
All right, well, we'll work on
We'll
that.
talk
Well,
about
maybe
that.
we could use
Yep.
it for backup.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Definitely talk about all of that stuff.
Okay.
Good. Okay, next on the agenda, surplus equipment, or consideration of surplus equipment. We have, first order of surplus equipment is the DCO van, or the former DCO van, a 1998 Ford Windstar van. It's a blue van, serial number 2FMZA51441WBD66121. I would move that we declare this as surplus equipment, no longer to be used by the town, and to sell to the highest bidder for Auctions International.
Second, for the sake of discussion.
Seconded by Councilman Spears. We'll move to discussion.
Is there any equipment in there that we need to remove that will be used in the next vehicle for the DCO, or?
Yes, I believe everything has been removed. I think there was a magnet in there. I think whatchamacallit?
Catching metal dog?
Yeah. the sign magnet, dog control officer.
Okay.
And then there was whatchamacallit? Not a siren, something like, I don't know. So, but anything that was in there has been removed.
All right.
So,
Thanks, that's enough. That's,
and the plates have been removed as well. And it has been taken off the insurance.
okay,
So-
that's sufficient.
Yes.
And the dog hair. was
And the
taken.
dog hair. Well, the dog hair might still be in there, but this looks like purchased in 2006 by us.
All right, we already approved it.
Okay, so, all right, we will call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, and motion carried 4-0. Also, I want to thank Sergeant Sorelli and Officer Kalin for working on this project. We have sheds that are down by the police department, and they haven't been looked at in years. And there was a lot of surplus equipment that could have been sold that was found, and a list has been put together for us by these sergeants, or by Sergeant Sorelli and Officer Kalin. Sergeant Sullivan I want to thank because she did some of the research. We did get a letter here from them today. Dear Supervisor Brabennick, Officer Kalin and I cleaned out the garage and both sheds last Tuesday. I have broken the categories down into items that we could sell and items we simply need permission to throw out. We separated the metal, which we can scrap, and the computer parts will be taken to advanced recovery since they agreed to take them free of charge. I have removed all the hard drives and spoke with Kevin Scully about their destruction. Kevin Scully is our IT vendor. The below items are surplus items we can auction and make a decent amount of money on. Sergeant Sullivan spoke with Goosetown last week, and once the account is set up, we will have them erase all the police frequencies from each radio. According to Goosetown, each radio is worth approximately $300. There are a total of 7 Kenwood model TK790H radios, serial numbers as follows. So I will move that we declare these surplus equipment. The 7 Kenwood model TK79011 radios, or 790H radios. Following serial numbers: 701-00027, 312-33331, 709-00141, 211-00287, 601-00249, 901-00375, and 401-00536. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Spears. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carried 4-0. The following are old Federal Signal Vista light bars. Officer Kalin suggested that the minimum bid for each is $100. So I will move to declare this surplus equipment as well. The serial numbers as follows for these Vista light bars: 991-3434, 343-374, 488-390, 606-887, 201-044, and 00477. So I'll move that. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Spears. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carried 4-0. The below items are to be discarded properly. So I'll move to discard the following items and declare as surplus equipment of the town. 2 fire beam lights by Federal Signal, inoperable. 2 IBM computers with Town and Deerpark labels 794 and 898. 1 Hewlett-Packard computer with no number. 3 Gateway computers, serial number 00329399201, 00329399202, 00329399204. 1 broken wooden table. 1 broken desk, Town of Deerpark, number 955. 1 broken small table. 1 Satina prisoner partition, serial number 4595227. This is from the old S10 Blazer. 1 Pro Guard prison partition, serial number 4203. 1 broken siren, PA300. 2 broken federal signal switch boxes, SW300 and SW400SS. 5 aluminum baseball bats. 1 gateway computer monitor, 7012A0011624. 1 sharp copier, ARM162. 1 Brother fax machine, U60283J75702-050. 1 Curtis tube television, 3 CBT 70D4552. 1 BTC computer monitor, 794-202-1737. And 4 IBM keyboards.
Norma, do you need any of this for the museum?
It's pretty historic.
It's historical.
It's historical.
An old IBM, come on, it's
Is there a second?
40 years, this thing will be very gone.
Jim. Seconded by Councilman Spears. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? And motion carried 4-0. One additional motion, move that the Kenwood model radios and the Federal Signal Vista light bars be sold on Auctions International and to be approved by the highest bidder.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Spears. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carried 4-0. And that's it for surplus equipment.
Wow.
Yeah,
Painful.
that was painful. A lot of stuff.
$3.
Yes, a lot of stuff has been in storage for many years. Next on the agenda, Port Jervis Youth Football League permission. The season is starting soon. They are going to be doing their second season here at Space Park, and we are happy about that. The season will start on August 31st and end somewhere in the middle of October, so my suggestion would be to permit them use, or permit the Port Jervis Youth Football League use of the football field from August 31st until October 31st.
I would extend that by 2 weeks in case they get in the playoffs.
Oh, okay. So that would be what? That would be 11, 15,
Take it to the 18th.
18th?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll entertain a motion for that purpose.
Yep. I'll make that motion that we approve the Port Jervis Youth Football League's request for use of Space Park from August 31st to November 18th.
Second for the sake of a discussion.
Okay, moved by Councilman Spears, there's a second by Councilman Dean. We'll move to discussion.
How does this work with insurance? What do we, how's it?
The league has its own insurance. All their players have medical insurance, and the league has liability insurance, which they'll, excuse me, name the town of Deerpark as an additional insured.
Okay, great.
It's already sent to the town. It's
Okay.
on file.
So on file. Okay, that's terrific. Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. Any other questions? Call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carried 4-0. Okay, next on the agenda is resolution number 20 of 2013, application of the supervisor for a UDSP grant for $5,000. This is would be authorization for the supervisor to apply for that grant of $5,000. Since I'm the applicant, I would need a motion to adopt resolution 20.
Make a motion, we adopt Resolution 20 to authorize the supervisor to apply for a $5,000 grant. What is that, the US?
UDSP.
UDSB.
Okay, motion
For
by
2014.
motion by Councilman Spears. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Trovey. Any discussion?
Now, just check out what's available. I'm certainly excited about the number 2 beach property. See if they can help us out, anything there.
All right, great. We'll take a look at all the options.
This is
Councilman Dean.
UDSB or UDC?
UDSP, correct, Al?
UDC.
Oh, UDC,
UDC.
excuse me, UDC. So that resolution would be
amend
for
my-
the UDC. Okay. Okay, UDC, and this is a tag grant, is that correct?
Right.
Okay.
Sure you don't want this for trails?
Negative. Okay, so this is for the UDC grant, $5,000, authorizing the supervisor to apply for the grant. And since it's a resolution, roll call vote, Councilman Trovey?
Yes.
Councilman Spears?
Yes.
Councilman Dean?
Yes.
Supervisor Brabenich, yes, and the resolution is adopted by a vote of 4-0. That is all for new business. We will move to appropriation budget and payment of bills. I'll move for the payment of bills with 3 or more council signatures for general fund abstract number 14, the amount of $113,260.59. Highway fund abstract number 14, $213,777.62. And special revenue reserve abstract number 2, $16. Is there a second?
Second?
Seconded by Councilman Spears. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? And motion carried 4-0, and these abstracts are available at the town clerk's office for review. Also, a second motion to pre-approve abstracts for the abstracts that will fall on the meeting on August 26th with 3 or more council signatures. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Spears. And any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, and motion carried 4-0. July Budget Officers Report, you have the budget report in front of you that runs through today, January 1st through August the 12th. This would serve as the July report. Any questions? This is from the general fund and the highway fund.
Nope, I just see it here, thank you. How we doing on our budget?
Oh, very well, very well. We are, right there.
I just mean on the new budget.
Oh, the new-
It's working.
The new budget, we'll have an update there in the
Oh,
next,
okay. Go ahead.
next thing. But I do need an approval.
Make a motion that we receive, motion that we receive the July Budget Officers Report.
Okay, a motion to receive the July Budget Officers Report. Is there a second?
It's to accept it, right?
That's to accept, yeah.
Yeah,
Receive,
second.
accept. Okay, seconded by Councilman Dean. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? And motion carried 4-0. Budget 2014 update. This week is the last week for department heads to put in their requests for 2014. This was sent out to all department heads and by email, also by paper. So everybody received those request forms. According to the schedule I did put together, they are due this Friday by 4 p.m. Departments submit estimates to the budget officer. From Friday until September the 6th, I will be working on the budget officer's budget, and will submit the tentative budget to the town clerk on September the 6th, or by September the 6th. Once that's submitted, you will receive at our next board meeting on the 9th of September, you will receive the tentative budget for the town board, and this is just where the town clerk will give the budget to all the town board members, and then you will have time to review that document up until September 23rd. At the September 23rd meeting, we will go over any changes that we want to make to that tentative budget, and hopefully pass a 2014 preliminary budget on that day. The preliminary budget, the next day, will be put together, given to the town clerk, and she will decide whether to accept it or not. And if it is completely accurate, she will accept it. Then, from September 24th through November the 7th, this is the New York State Comptroller's annual review of our preliminary budget. They will give us recommendations for any changes, additions, and deletions. November 7th is the Thursday after Election Day. That will be a special meeting. That will be our public hearing on the 2014 preliminary budget, and that revisions are due to the comptroller's office, and/or public recommendations, can be heard on that day as well. Anytime after that public hearing, we can vote to adopt a budget, but the budget has to be adopted by the 20th of November. And that's it.
Very good.
So if anyone has any questions, I don't know if you wanted to make a motion real quick to set the special meeting for the public hearing on the preliminary budget for November 7th, to put that in stone. We can do that tonight.
Yeah, let's wait a little bit.
Too far in advance for me to.
Yeah, me too.
That's fine, that's fine. All right. Okay, so, moving on. Closing board comments, Councilman Spears.
I want to thank Norma before she goes out the door for all her work, and great job and congratulations again for the Orange County Award, well deserved. Thank you, Norma. And also would like to thank Flo for many years of the 9/11 ceremony. It is actually a thing that the town of Deerpark has a lot of pride in. It's been well done, and we look forward to another fine ceremony on Wednesday, September 11th, and I'm sure our supervisor, Carl Brabennick, will do a great job, and that's all I have.
Thank you very much. Councilman Tromby.
Just kudos to Home Depot for the
Yeah.
wonderful thing they're going to be doing to help and donating $5,000 worth of work. That's great. Thank you, Home Depot. That's it.
Absolutely. All right. Councilman Dean.
I have in front of me the financial report. This is financial statements as of and for the 6 months ending June 30th, 2013, from our accountant, Robert Schultz. I've had a little time to look at this. We're in relatively good condition, and I'd like to express my thanks and on behalf of the taxpayers to the department heads of the town of Deerpark, because they have done a yeoman's job of controlling spending, and it just goes to prove that with some diligence, you can rein things in. You can actually be in the black and not increase taxes and drive your taxpayers crazy here, because it's been done. And I expect that for the next few years, we're going to have a good election here coming up in November, and I expect for the next few years that we're going to do our best to continue in that vein, to be conservative, both fiscally and politically. And listen, it works. And one of the things that kind of indicates it also is the fact that nobody comes to a meeting anymore. So I encourage people, if you want to come to the meeting, you have something you want to talk about, please feel free. But again, my personal thanks to the department heads of all the people who work in the town, because they've done a great job of holding the line, and it's encouraging to see, and I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And I second everyone's comments, and I think no need to repeat them because you said it all. But I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of the summer. Be careful on the river. We're having some accidents again on that river, so just be careful when you go out there. That river can be dangerous, so please be careful. Also, yeah. Well, I'm going to yield the floor over to the town clerk. She wants to make an announcement for her office.
Just a reminder, hunting licenses went on sale today, so my office is open Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. So come on down, get your hunting license and doe permits.
Thank you.
Hunting licenses, doe permits, they are on sale. Town clerk's office. Also, easy passes on sale.
Easy passes are good.
Absolutely.
About 12 so far.
Lots of services, lots of good services. Again, thanks to my brother, Thomas Brabennick, for volunteering his time every meeting, coming here and making this town board meeting available live on the internet and archiving it on YouTube for us. Thank you very much for your work and your donation of your time and your equipment for this.
Ditto from all
We
of us.
appreciate that. Thank
Good
you.
to see you stayed awake this week.
Yeah. That is all I have. We have an executive session to discuss potential litigation on various items. I would move that we go into executive session at 9:05 p.m. to invite in our attorney, Glenn Plotsky, our attorney, Bill Bavoso, and our engineer, Al Fusco. And is there a second?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, seconded by Councilman Spears. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? And motion carried 4-0, and I'll move to recess until 9:05 p.m. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Spears. And all in favor?
Thought we just did that.
Aye. All opposed? All right, motion carried 4-0. We are in recess. Thank you very much, everyone. We do not have any further business for tonight. Have a good night.